for investment, as are commercial to residential conversions, and we'll show you some examples of these in a few minutes. There are also regeneration projects going on, so whenever you see a new power station going on or a new railway project, then there are always opportunities to make more profit in those particular areas. This is our team, Anna, Louise, our architect, and myself. I founded the company, the group of companies in Slovenia in 2015, just before Brexit, with an idea to actually invest and develop throughout Europe, European Union, including the UK, and then Brexit happened, so I had to change the plan. But more or less, we're still on track. We've still got a Slovenian company. We can still operate anywhere in the EU, and you'll hear some case studies from there as well. This is first of the free stuff, so if you want to educate yourself about property, then this is a magazine for you, Your Property Network. So you can take the QR code, which you've got on a sheet in front of you or from the screen here, and you can either have a posted version or a digital version, and there are some example magazines on your tables, so please take them home. They're a great magazine because they're written by people who are actively doing property stuff in the UK. So there are case studies about commercial conversions, there are case studies about flips, there are well-known people such as John Howard, the chairperson of Property Elevator. You may have heard of him from the television. Active investors writing these good quality articles. So YPN magazine is a good one to start with for free for 28 days. And then if you like it, you can subscribe or you can unsubscribe. The subscription has gone up. It's now $23.95, which is a lot of money, but what you actually get is more of a community from YPN. So you get access to a lot of experts and a power team, and you get access to WhatsApp group, regular webinars, so it's like a support system. So
quite frankly, that's a better alternative to scrolling on Instagram while having a coffee or a drink in the evening, so you learn something.
Quite. So this is my story. Basically, I've been in construction and property development all my life. I've been an investor in property for a long time. I've changed my strategies from time to time because of work commitments. But basically, I've been involved in developing property for contractors, for consultants, and for clients. So throughout the whole of my life, what I've been doing is looking after other people's money. Just to give you an example, this was my first project management experience in the Bahamas. We spent about 3 years living in the Bahamas, working on hotel projects, quite big ones. This was a redevelopment of the Cable Beach Hotel. And I also then moved to another hotel and casino in Lacaille Beach in Freeport. This is all for the Hotel Corporation of the Bahamas. So what we're doing there is we're creating wealth by creating hotels that provide employment, tourism, and they generate massive revenue for the Bahamas. But also, there are sometimes problems with these sort of developments. And I'll tell you about an example. It wasn't actually a project that I was involved in, but it was a subsequent project that happened at Cable Beach. And it was known as the Bahama Project, and it was commissioned by a guy called Sarkis Islamian, and he was an Armenian billionaire's son, and he invested a massive amount of money in
That's not making help, not helping at all, sorry.
Before that, a massive amount of money invested in this Bahama project, and he commissioned a contractor, which was Chinese State Construction, and the costs of the work with Chinese State Construction went up, and the developer couldn't actually pay the bills from the contractor. So in the end, the contractor took over the project. So this sort of development is far from easy, and it just goes to show. I think that's the biggest example I've seen of somebody actually losing a lot of money on a development because they didn't set it up right and they didn't control the costs. This is another project. I spent about 5 years of my life on this project, Chelsea Harbour, which was for P&O development. So it took a derelict warehouse and derelict industrial site in the west of London, and it converted it into the highest quality residential, commercial and hotel project. And even during the construction, we dug out the basin. There was a basin that had been used for barges that came and went into that dock area. We dug that out and made it into a marina, and you can see the marina here, where there are lots of leisure craft for all the residents of Chelsea Harbour, and it really is an exclusive community. This is another project I was involved in, which is Cheval residences at 1 to 4 Hyde Park Gate. So it's near the Albert Hall, and what was done was converted an old house, a Grade 2 listed building, and added 17 1- and 2-bedroom flats on the back of the building, so that these provided serviced accommodation for rich families coming from the Middle East. So this was like an alternative to the Dorchester or the Ritz or the Savoy. For these families, they come in, they'd stay for a couple of months. It would cost them a fortune in the Dorchester or the Savoy or the Ritz, and it would cost them a smaller fortune staying in this 5-star quality.
London.
Yes, that's right, central London. They've been operating this for years, and it's made them a massive amount of money. This is the biggest project I was involved in, which was the Crescent Development Project in Baku in Azerbaijan, and it's quite interesting because the hotel is actually shows it in the sea there. We actually had to reclaim land from the sea to build a site, to create a site for the foundations for the hotel, and then the sea was let back in afterwards. So it's a massive project, $1.5 billion project, and it took quite a few years to complete, but I had the privilege to be the project director for ACOM on that project there.
Impressive.
Yeah,
You went back in time.
and this is another example. So what you usually get with projects, you start off with something like this, which is a clear site, and you transform it into something that's useful for people. So you're creating a built environment, and these sort of transport projects, this is the Stratford International Extension, created a link for people travelling from Europe at Stratford International Station to get onto the TfL network, so they could come to the Olympic Games, 2012 Olympics, quite easily from Paris or from Belgium or anywhere in Europe. So it was quite a big value-add scheme. You never heard anything about it because it was completed on time and to budget. If it hadn't been, then probably, and there'd been an effect on the Olympics, you would have heard all about it. So client feedback. This is client's feedback from DLR about me. I led the Arab team that was seconded into DLR to help them deliver this Stratford International Extension project. They appreciated the fact that we'd helped them to deliver it on time, to quality and in budget. And then Peter Beckenham is an investor based in Asia who I deal with. And Gilan Holding, the testimonial on the bottom, said that I'd solved a lot of problems for them, complex problems on the site in Baku. So this is what I do, I solve problems for property owners.
And especially complex projects where, as Alan showed a minute ago, and I'll tell you who I am and why am I here on stage with Alan now, but it is because when you know what you're doing and you have the experience, I mean, we talked at the table amongst us, we have roughly 100 years, but it's not about quantity, it's about quality. because Luis is very specialized in that fine detail of architectural work, and Alan's got this rich project management experience. I myself am the one with the least experience, I would say, in that regard. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've had a few businesses starting from retail, going into financial consultancy, and I have run quite a successful rentals management business, so to say. I had my own estate business back in Bulgaria. I'm Bulgarian originally, which I sold for a good amount of money. I'm not complaining. And when my customers started buying properties to kind of work with, all of a sudden it turns out there's no one to manage them. It was the beginning of probably the 90s, and the Airbnb and booking was just kind of starting to get to the top of their game, but not many people knew how to work with these platforms. So for that reason, at some point I had roughly 120 properties under management, and this is because it brings people more money. And actually, anyone who's not a professional business property developer is probably in the game for the money and for the security, because it's a growing market anywhere in the world, to be honest. What else? So I am a bachelor in economics and finance in terms of education and background. I've had various roles in the past, like finance, sales, account management, all that. So it all contributes to what we're doing here. And if you want to know, obviously I'm not British originally, though I hold a British passport. But I do speak 4 languages, working on 5 and 6 at the moment. It's just part of what we do, and it's part of the strategy we've got for developing and for how Alpus is going to grow in the coming years, and we've set the baseline for it. So, we went back, and we wanted to go forward. So.
Okay. Do you have a property problem? What we want to do is find out what sort of issues you may have with property. So if you've got something that is costing you money, that you're losing money on, if you've got something which has potential for development but you haven't thought how you could develop it, if you've got any sort of land that is laying vacant, unused, potential for turning into profit, but you don't really know where to start because it involves spending fees on assessments, and you're just really in awe of the process, because it can be quite daunting to consider setting off on a development process. Then basically we can introduce you to our branded Alpus system. This is A for acquisition of the property, L is for leverage, so you leverage our experience, Anna's experience, Louise's experience, my experience. You work out what the best outcome for your site could be. We'd probably look at several options. We prepare a project design of possibly several options, do a feasibility study, and then choose one as recommended. And then once everything is agreed, we actually upgrade the value. So that's the implementation of the things like you saw on some of the photographs I saw earlier, where sites were being transformed, from vacant sites, or in the case of one of the sites in the Bahamas, there was a fire-damaged hotel that had to be turned into a new development. So this is the upgrade value stage, and then S is for safe, secure investment return. So that's our branded system, ALPUS for Alpus. We've got experience, as Anna was explaining, many years of experience in design through Louise. We've got experience in construction methodology, procurement of large-scale developments.
That's the skills you can leverage, actually. I don't know, for some reason, apart from the clicker, the slides are coming like the first, then you've got the 7th, maybe the 2nd. It was meant to be ALPUS, as you can imagine, but we started by L. But that's your leverage, maybe.
Yeah.
Just to clarify why we start with an L. There you go. Hey.
So, yeah, acquisition, we can acquire sites in many different ways. We can buy a site from somebody, we can ascertain its value, or we can lease it and then purchase it at a later date, or we can do something that's called an assisted sale, where we recognise that there's a relatively low value in a building or a property at the moment, and then we can work with the owner on a joint venture basis to improve the value and then sell the property and share the profits from it.
So think of it as a roadmap, or whether, so you're here and you want to get there. How we can help you with, if you tell us what you want to achieve. So anything, I mean, Alan showed a few slides ago that piece of land where he started the project, and that's best case scenario. There might be a burn-down hotel, like in
Yes,
Bahamas.
exactly, yes.
So that's even trickier, and that's where, you know, knowing what needs to be done to save you money and time and make you more money, it comes into play.
So, project design, this is where Louise's expertise comes in. We ensure the principal designer is appointed and all legislation conformed to. This is a big issue.